Good morning, VentiViewers. Thanks so much for joining me today. So today I am joined by FroKnowsPhoto, aka Jared Polin. I signed up for his 1 hour critique of my photos. I gave him about 30 to 40 of my most recent photos, and he's going to critique me and give me some feedback on them. And I thought maybe there's just something that my viewers could learn from this as well. So hopefully you guys will like this video. Maybe give it a thumbs up. Maybe consider subscribing for more VentiViews content where we make amazing content for amazing people. So let's dive in. I have him right here on Zoom.
So this is still with the
Yeah, this was probably like one of the last photos I took with the Z6.
wow, that must have been a slow ass focus on that, because that's the macro lens. That thing is slow as shit on the Nikon.
Mm-hmm.
This is good. You can see it's Los Angeles Marathon. You got lucky that that's there.
Yep.
Right, so you have that. I mean, obviously you cut off just a little bit, but you're with a fixed lens. There's not much you can do with it at that point.
Yeah.
The F5 is neither here nor there. It's fine. You know, if you want to have a little bit more in the background come out. But for that, I would rather be a little wider, if you could.
Yeah.
Just so you could show more of the scene.
Yeah.
Z6. F9. Are we popping a strobe on this?
Yeah.
Orange. Can we pull up orange and still keep the yellow? Yeah, I think I just pull out a little bit of that orange.
Mm-hmm.
But you see the difference? You see that?
Yeah.
Flat, and then you go like that, and it gives it some texture now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's there. It's a good shot. Mm-hmm. It all depends on what you're going for, if you're cutting her out or if it's for a magazine or what.
Right.
But yeah, no, lighting-wise, it's good. Because I don't cut things out, but if it was for a magazine and they needed more room or they needed a print or for something, they could cut it out and do something with it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it looks fine. It's just a matter of the processing just a little bit. See, it's like super flat and no texture and no tone, and then you do that and you're like, oh, it came to life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's great because the symmetry of it with it, top, medium, and then you have the baby down here, and it runs through. Nice lighting. It's soft. They're holding each other. I mean, it checks all the boxes of what someone would want to see with it.
Yeah. Right.
As long as they're happy, that's all that matters with that.
Right.
Yeah. So I love stuff like this. Just the colors. This is LA because this is that Disney.
Walt Disney Concert Hall. Yeah.
The feel of it's just awesome. I mean, I love the tones. Mm-hmm. It's not black and white, because black and white I don't think works as well. But the subtleness of the pulled back colors and all the angles here, and the fact that you have it completely isolated from any background or the sky or anything else coming out is perfect. So I just love all the angles. Nothing is straight and everything's just coming off at different angles. And you didn't put it right in the middle, so I always like the fact that they're not right in the middle exactly. So I think it works really well. I like the feel of that. And it's with a 24 to 105. Got it.
Yep.
And everybody does this photo, right?
Yeah, especially in that location. But it very rarely rains in LA, so we went out and did like a rainy day photo shoot type thing.
Now, is there a reason you weren't directly in the middle with the stripe?
Because the stripe isn't directly in the middle of it. Yeah.
Okay.
That lane where she is directly in the middle.
So 16 to 35. I don't know. What do you think about cutting her off at the ankles?
It looked better to be a little bit closer. I tried to cut her off maybe at the shins, but then you lose the umbrella, so it was really wide. I have some vertical shots of this too, but I wanted to go horizontal, and I really like the processing on this because you got the raindrops and everything there, and
yeah, no, I like the raindrops coming in. It's a tough one with where it's cut, because I think the background is super distracting. Like the clutter. There's clutter in the background.
I know.
Literally, there's clutter in the background. So I mean, not that the 2.8 at 16 millimeters would have changed very much, but this might be one of those where you back up just a little bit and try to isolate her. But I don't mind wide, but I think wider getting down lower. And I don't think the 2.8 would matter at that point, because you'd be so wide anyway.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get all these lines straight.
Yeah, it is challenging. Yep.
but it's still good. It's just I would love to see it isolated more. And that's where do you have any of the faster glass over there?
No, the fastest one that I have right now is a 16 to 35 at the moment.
Sigma has a good amount. Like the Sigma's 85-1.4 is better than Sony's 85-1.4.
What about
Sony,
Tamron?
the Tamron has the 35 to 150 f2, which no one to f2 to 2.8. That I got one, and and then I switched over to Canon. But I would take that personally. I would take the 35 to 150 if I was traveling and just wanted one lens. But it's so hard to travel because I like taking everything. That's just me.
Yeah.
But that one lens could do it. But I mean, I prefer the Sigmas over the Tamrons.
I will tell you that you'll see this here in a couple of photos. I did end up purchasing the 35 to 150 f2 to 2.8. I love that lens. Yeah, I love that lens. Really, really
it's
nice.
Good. It's good. I don't think the focus on the A1. I don't think it focuses as fast as the other lenses, and I just think it's misses some of the three-dimensional color clarity look that you get with, say, a 28 to 70 f2 from Canon. So, but there's there's that one's 3000 and one's not.
Right.
So there's always those differences.
Yep.
I like the snow. You can see the vastness of the size just if you look at the ice and everything. It's pretty cool. Hi, I'm a bird. 500 millimeters, 6.7. Yeah, I mean it's really nice.
Yeah, the detail on his feathers is really good.
Yeah. This is. I mean, it's probably wouldn't happen with the Z6 because you don't have a lens like this on the Z6.
Right.
Yeah, so that looks good. I would just be careful not to over sharpen. Because it looks like extra sharpening on the. You can get away with it with the bird, not so much with people.
Yeah. Right. Right.
But yeah, I don't know if we warm it. I don't know if it was cold. Was it cold? I'm assuming.
Yeah, it was January 1st.
All right. Yeah. So
keeping
it cold looks good. 7.1. Is this cropped again?
I may have cropped it a little bit.
Yeah, it's not a. I personally like to keep the 2:3 aspect ratio. If you're going to crop, just I like to keep the 2:3. Even for Instagram, I know everybody. I start to hear people today like, "Oh, but Instagram." I'm like, "Fuck Instagram."
Yeah.
Like, that Instagram is a different shape. That's fine, but you're a photographer. You're not an influencer.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But this is a great moment because you got them carving through the wave, and you got the falling of the wave and everything. So that looks good. I'm not sure focus wise if it nailed perfectly, but it looks good. This is cool with the crow. I love your tones that you did here. So that's really nice. That one feels really good because of the darkness and just the way you have the branch and the other stuff out of focus. I think it works really well.
Cool. Yeah, it was hard I had to bring up the shadows a lot on that crow.
Yeah, it doesn't look overdone, and that's what I look for. Is if it's overdone like that,
It looks
you're
like
like
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Right.
when you can't tell that it's overdone, that's what it's all about. And that's what I tell people when you're editing. You do it to the point where it's just about to go to a place where you notice it,
Right.
and then if you don't notice it, that's what we're looking for. Oh, that's cool. Good angle up here. Wait a quarter of a second.
I just wish that road lined up perfectly with the tip of the observatory. It doesn't.
There's nothing you can do. You know when they do it. What is burned? Oh, it's because it's multiple shots.
Yeah, it's 5 auto exposure bracketed, and I tried to get rid of the ghosting because that's part of the ghosting of it. Yeah.
No, it looks good. I wouldn't have. You wouldn't really know unless you really zoomed in.
Right.
Or another thing you could do is you could try the long exposure, just a long exposure, and get the streaks of the lights instead.
Yeah.
But this is good. That looks good. I'm a model. 2.8. There's your 35 to 150.
Yeah.
It's an unbelievable, interesting. Do I wish it went wider? Sure, but the fact that you have a 35 to 150 is still insane.
Yeah, it's like pretty much the only lens that I use. Like I love that lens. It's
Yeah,
really,
this is
really
great.
nice.
Nice isolation. Obviously, you got lucky with the birds
We
flying
did,
in the
yeah.
background.
Yep, we did. We did. Do you think, and this is something that I want to ask you, do you think the horizon line with her eyes, is that where you would have put it, or?
I I didn't even notice. It didn't bother me.
Okay.
I think you're at a good level here. I don't like raised arms. I just think unless it's a fitness thing,
Right.
I don't like raised arms. Like, I'm shitty with posing. I'm just terrible with posing still to this day. Like Jerry Gionis, if you know, he's a Nikon shooter. He's unbelievable at posing. He does mostly portraiture, and then Lindsay Adler poses, and
Yep.
Vanessa Joy has posing. I'm just no good at directing a pose because that's why I mostly do natural. I'm like, just do your thing.
Yeah, right. It's something that I'm trying to get better with. She is a professional model, so this was like for a few photos for Sports Illustrated tryout, so she kind of knew what she was doing, so like how she would move. So in a way it was kind of natural for her, to do this kind of stuff, so.
Yeah, that's cool. This again, I wouldn't Instagram crop it, but I mean, you're big on Instagram, so doing your thing. So do what works for you on there. You can see the color difference. If you're given both of these, I'd try to get the colors very similar. Especially if you're delivering them.
Yeah, I did give her one that was similar to the original one. I really liked the way the tone, the moody way that I edited it.
Yep, I got you. Look at the plane running right into it. It's like a bullet. Yeah, this is really good. This just feels right. It's a good moment. Usually I hate when the sun is coming directly into the shot, but it's not. It doesn't take away from this shot.
Right.
And the flare is natural, so it's not bullshit. Just people sometimes will shoot this picture without this context, and it's just a picture of the freaking sun. And it never works. But this worked really well. Because it's good. You silhouetted it enough that it works well. More hands up. This is a different model, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the field. I mean, where you put her in the in the flowers is great. You have your style of editing, which looks good. I want eye contact. Do you not get a lot of eye contact from them?
There were a few with eye contact, but I liked her face because this was a very natural face for her. And then the next one, I kind of liked that mystery where you don't quite see her face.
Okay. I mean, they all look good. Like exposure-wise, your exposures are obviously fine. Your framing and composition are really good. Your editing you have your style, so that's good. Did you add grain again?
This one I did not add any grain.
Is it just cropped in?
Yeah, I cropped it in a significant amount.
That's why it looks like it. I mean, so well, I mean, if you're gonna do horizontal for Instagram, they don't crop it. They don't crop horizontally. I don't. For me, I like the natural frame.
Yeah.
If you don't want that, you don't want that. If you want, if that's your thing, then go with it. I'm not here to tell you not to do it. Because you've developed your look, and if that includes cropping in this way, then crop in that way.
Yeah.
I tell beginners to stick to the proper aspect ratio as much as possible until they decide they have a style. And if you have your style and that's how you choose to do it, I'm not going to tell you not to do it if that's what you choose to do.
Right.
Because that's your thing. Let's see where we focus. We're focused on the rocks.
Yeah.
Is this another famous thing out there?
Kind of. Yeah, it's one of a famous rock formations. A lot of people will take a shot at sunset in December because the sun, the way the position is, it's like right exactly there. Like right in the middle of it, but
so they have like 800 people trying to get the same photo.
Exactly. I don't even bother. I don't. It's like when you go to Firefall in Yosemite in February. It's like there's hundreds of photographers out there to get the sun on the waterfall that it looks like it's on fire and it's like lava, but there's hardly ever any water. So you go out there, you fight 300, 400 photographers to get the same shot, and then you don't get it because there's a drought.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get the bokeh on the water spray right there with that lens.
Gotcha. Well, you're at 6.7 though. Is there any reason you're at 6.7? Oh, you're 150. It's not the 35 to 150. Sorry.
Yeah.
So yes, that makes sense now.
Yep.
Sorry. I was thinking it was the other thing.
Yep.
All right. So 135 to 150. Yeah. 250. I like the lines in the background are great. Up against the window sometimes isn't going to work, but what I love is that you've got the monochrome background and the plumish, reddish, everything looks awesome. So great composition. This feels great. Love the position of everything. So this one's really nice.
Would you have taken out the shines on his head?
I don't take shit out.
Okay.
I don't take anything out.
Fair
natural
enough.
is natural to me. You can put powder up there if you really want to.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't care. So I don't care personally. But I don't do a ton of setup shots like this where, you could go in with powder before and do it, but taking shine out after the fact, I don't touch up anything beyond doing my edits on the right hand side, That's me, because I just don't like doing that. But I think this is a great shot because I love all the intersecting lines in the background and the monochrome look of it, and I think it looks really good. Not the same guy, because this guy has hair. So you're going for the moody look?
Yep.
With the strobe, you got it. It looks good. Nice side lighting, split lighting off to the side here. You got a hair light popping in back here too. So that looks good. And what are we going for? What was what were you saying, or what was he looking for?
He just wanted a photo shoot in the studio of him wearing a suit, like nicer clothes. So
Yep.
And he wanted something black and white and dramatic, so we went with this.
Looks good. I like it. Same guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I like the running through because you get a good feel for where you're at. He's right off the ground. It looks natural. You still have the waves in the background, so there's a lot of context that you don't lose. A lot of times people will either shoot it too tight and you don't see the location.
Yeah.
And this is good. Actually, the one thing I would say compositionally, and I see this. Do you see? All right, let me get rid of that real fast. Oops. Do you see how you have sky and off to the right-hand side, you have this whole bright area?
Yeah.
So a lot of times if I'm going to have a natural frame on both sides, like say there's two trees, I make sure that we do that. And it gets rid of this distraction where your eye goes directly to the brightness in the back over here instead of the subject. And now we go right to the subject because we utilized these natural frames and we're not, does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this over here, these little slivers become a distraction. And the same thing happens if I'm doing a portrait and I've got someone even left to right. I'll try to keep the same amount on both sides so that it looks the same, or I'll just like make sure there's no sliver coming out the back. So it's subtle, but it's just one of those things that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Surfer, good. My take on the cropping part, but I don't care that a horizon is going through the face. I think we have a boat back here, right? Maybe?
Yeah. Yep.
That's cool. I think this is great. Nice and sharp, great settings. Everything about it I like. It's just a good moment at the top of the wave there. I don't know surfing, so I can't say whether it's like
good form.
Whether this is he coming out of riding through? I mean, he couldn't ride through that. That's too small, but
yeah.
I guess it's cool to have the boats in the background because it just shows you that it's real. And it's a shipping lane. This one I saw, like, I saw in the thumbnail part. What is that button do? Oh, it's geotagged.
Yeah, I took it with the Mavic 3 Pro.
I'm like, why is this coming up with a thing? I don't know what that thing means. Yeah, so this is awesome. What I love about it is that the wide aspect of it, your lines are great, and you've got the city in the background, you've got the people here on the hill. That's what I like about it. If it was too tight, I'm not going to say that this is too tight because this is part of the campaign of what you're going for. This is great.
Right.
This is really cool. Like they go together, they go hand in hand. This shows you that they're riding their one wheels.
Yeah.
They're older ones because they don't have the cap on it. Is that the thing?
No, that's actually the brand new GT. This was a photo shoot that I did for One Wheel.
They don't do the cap on those, or
they do. It's just these guys are pros, and pros very rarely, if ever, put fenders on them. Yeah.
Got it. Because I've never ridden one of these things. Are they hard? Or are they?
It's a challenge, but it's not as hard as you think because it kind of balances itself. One Wheel has actually been doing. They actually asked me to shoot a demo tour in Santa Monica a few weekends ago because they're going to different cities and letting people try out the One Wheel. I think they might be going to Philadelphia at some point, so maybe you should come out and try it. But
let me know.
Yeah, they had just come out with a GT and they wanted me to do a little bit of a photo shoot for them. So I tried to do a wide, and then the next one is a little bit closer, and then maybe like an individual one. We shot a few other things too, but I thought these were kind of the best ones that I came up with.
Yeah, so I like. We'll get back to the other in a second, but you know, you shooting this at a slower shutter speed a little bit.
Yeah, I wanted to pan with him. To get the motion a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it works out. That's great. This is great too. You know, to show you're on this type of gravel, and then this, of course, shows you, wow, we got up a fucking hill and overlooking the city.
Yeah.
And so that's what I like about it. Real or not real?
Real. Yep.
You didn't have all these other people standing there trying to get the same shot?
Okay, so this is a photo group called Donut Street Meet, and they pick a location and an event, and then they bring donuts. So there was about 200 other photographers there, but it was very spaced out. Everyone had their own little section that they wanted to get. I wanted to get this composition with the moon right exactly in the center. So I took a photo of everything except the moon, like 10 minutes before this happened, didn't move the camera, and then took a photo exposed for the moon, and then just overlaid it in Photoshop.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's really cool. It's still so cool that you can shoot the moon. It's still always awesome. Yes, that's good. That's too tight for my liking.
My thought,
unless you're going for
this? my thought was, so she this was a photo shoot for her portfolio, and she wanted to show off like a sports bra. So I tried to go a little bit tighter on this one to show off the sports bra itself.
I gotcha. Yeah, then you nailed it. Looks good. The elbow. I see the elbow. It's just subtle. It's subtle. That's a little boop. Pull back just a smidge.
Yeah. Yep.
You and I will notice it. Most other people will never notice it, so it's totally fine. Colors and tones look cool. This makes total sense. Is it real? Is it real, or did you spray her down?
Yeah, sprayed her down. Well, it was a little bit of both because she was running a lot at that point, so she was pretty sweaty. But we sprayed her down a little bit too.
Got it. Is this glasses we're going for?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's a good set for the fitness. This is cool. Great focus on the face. You got the lens flare coming through.
Yep.
Black and white looks good. The tones are great. I like the processing a lot. So I like that. I don't like adding grain. That's just me. I'm not a grain adder. I just losing the hands. You know, hurts a little bit. Let me see if it's fine to do this or not. No. I would just try to get those hands in there just a little bit.
Yeah.
I just think because I love the light and I love your processing.
Minus minus the grain.
Sans the grain.
Yeah.
I'm not a grain fan, but the lighting is great. The separation that you have is awesome from the background. Nice fall off, nice and soft. I would just want to keep the fingers in there just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nice. Everything looks nice about it, the hair and everything. I mean, there you keep it in, which is good. Nice black and white. Little uneven on the light in the back. Just because it's coming in, but I don't know if you were going for a straight white backdrop or not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could have put a gradient in there and upped the exposure on that side just to even it out.
I don't want to add too much magenta.
Yeah, it's subtle, but that does look better.
Yeah, it's just there's a split in here with.
Yeah.
There it is. There it's like right there about like plus 18 on here, but if you have the raw file, it'll be different.
Yeah.
But yeah, just that subtleness again. It just looked a little green. And you pull that out, and everything pops more. That's good. I love this shot. It's all the eyes. The eyes are great. And this is good because now we actually have some more lighting.
Yeah.
Like instead of with the piano guy earlier, we didn't have as much.
Right. Yeah, we put one light above him that's with a blue gel, and then two on the side that were red.
Yeah, that looks cool. I like that.
Yeah, he wanted a very like cyberpunk photo shoot.
Yeah, I mean, there's some really good stuff. Just wider here, as we talked about. I don't need to go through all of them again, but I think as a set, they're really good, and I know you want to get to your other stuff.
And that's it, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hopefully you guys learned a few things. Go check out his channel. He does some pretty cool stuff, a lot of gear review. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Cut.